Hello everybody, this is Atlantis here, and welcome to part 2 of my card art review of the Surging Sparks Pokemon trading card set. In part 1, I did a review of all of the basic card arts, but here in part 2, we're going to be looking at all of the illustration rares and the special illustration rares, and it's something I'm definitely looking forward to. And before we begin, of course, everything I say is completely my opinion. If you disagree with me, that's okay. I'm just here to explain to you all maybe some of the things I like about the card art, maybe some of the things I don't like about them. So let's just get right into it. So here we are, starting off strong with a Shinji Kanda, a Magneton. Now this sort of style really works well with Magneton because of all the little electricity and different lines and all these really cool particles coming out of it. Although I will say it's a pretty normal depiction of Magneton. There's nothing really telling you exactly, what Magneton is or does, other than that maybe they emit electricity. Nonetheless, the aesthetics are absolutely phenomenal. I mean, this whole thing just looks so cool to look at. I mean, it's so busy. I know with some people, maybe they might not like this, but I'm a big fan of it. I'm gonna give this a solid 8 out of 10. It's really cool. I like this card. Execute. Oh, now this is really cute. We got some watercolor style with some of the colors and everything here. We got some nice shadows with the really cool light source coming from this direction here. I really like how all the eggs are kind of doing their own thing. I mean, they're all just laying around, but it's really cool just seeing them out in like a public setting here. We have like a little basketball court, or we got a little tennis racket over here. And it's obvious that they interact with people, and I think it's really cute. I'm gonna give this a 8 out of 10. I love the soft colors. That it really does it for me. I love how nice they look. Vivillon. Okay. Now, one thing I appreciate about when artists go for like a hyper realistic look with Pokemon is when they really have some awesome attention to detail. Now, one thing in particular I like is this little overlap right here in the wings. How we got the light source coming down right here, and if it was just one wing, it becomes like a little bit see-through or transparent here. But when the wings overlap, you can see how it becomes darker, and that's just a really cool detail. It really adds to the realism, the lifelike quality here. And I love these little sparkles right here, and I really appreciate how the background is really blurred. It really adds to the sunlight effect that we have here. Maybe if some of these harsher highlights were done on this log right here, this picture actually would have just been like a pure like 9 or 10, just based on technical ability. I'm gonna give this an 8 though. It's still really good. Actually, you know what? I changed my mind. I'm gonna give it a 9. I just really like that attention to detail right here, especially with the little ridges of the wing. How you got this little rim of light. It's just so cool. I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10. Looks really nice. Alright, so we got Shinotic. So immediately I noticed the soft glow coming from the head and the different like little spores. And I love how we have all these clusters of mushrooms down here. It's really cool, and I like how they're really close to the camera as well. The whole thing just looks really nice, and I love how the artist is using the contrast of colors to really make sure that Shinotic pops, especially with the purple color compared to like the dark grays and the lighter blues over here. The whole thing's just got a really nice atmosphere and a really neat environment. I'll give this an 8 out of 10. Cast ooh, okay. So there's a lot to look at here. You got some really nice geography, some really cool line art that really adds all these details to it. And that's really cute. I love how we have all the different cast forms here. I wonder if this is from like a specific region. Maybe from Hoenn? I mean, you have this mountain here and this desert plateau. I don't know, but one thing I really noticed about this is how the artist is using like just solid colors and lines to create like a 3D effect. You can see right here in this orb how the artist is using just like solid colors and slowly steps down from different shades of orange to create like this 3D effect. This depth with just using lines. It is just really cool. And there's so much to see. It looks awesome. I'll give this a 10 out of 10. Larvet. Okay, we got Larvesta on a cute pillow right here, just chilling. This is a vibe. This is such a nice vibe right here. You got some nice light coming through the window or the door. It just looks so cozy and lovely. I'll give this an 8 out of 10. Say really, ooh, okay. So one of the first things I noticed is the background. You got like these really cool like shapes and effects. I think it might be smoke. And then you have like this really neat architecture. You got this really cool dragon right here. How did I not notice that before? One thing that really draws my eye is up here in this flame. And it's got this really cool like cosmic vibe to it. And you got these really deep colors from the blue to the red. And the whole thing just looks absolutely gorgeous. Now, Cerulars themselves aren't really doing much, but the whole thing just looks so nice to look at. I'll give this a 9 out of 10. Very cool. Feebas. Ooh, okay. So we got Feebas in the water. Got this really nice light source coming in. And I love how the environment plays a big part in how they're showing us Feebas, because you got these really long water plants and got the leaves and these lilies right here blocking out the sun to create these really nice rays of light. And they hit Feebas and they just look so cool. And I love how, okay, so I love how when we think about like what Feebas is, how they start down here in this murky water, because Feebas is not a strong Pokemon, but you know, they eventually become something great, you know? It's kind of like Feebas is like looking out of the water into the future. This whole thing just looks really cool. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. Spheal. Okay. Spheal. Immediately you notice this Spheal right here. Really cute. But my heart was captured by this little guy down here. How they're so close to the camera just staring at us. That's just really cute. I love how the artist is using like really simple geometry to make the ice. And I love how they're using snow to add to the highlights from the lighting. That's just really cool. I'll give this a 9 out of 10. Bruxish. Okay. So we got this really cool angle of Bruxish from below. And they're kind of doing this turn in from their swimming. Got some nice coral. Got like a seaweed tower right here. There's not much to say, but the whole thing just looks really neat. Got some nice shadows and depth added to Bruxish. And I love the deep blue back here. That's really cool. I'll give this an 8 out of 10. Okay, we got Sea Titan. Okay, I love the details of everything. I love how it's got these lines throughout the whole picture. I love how the geometry of the lines in the background create, you know, everything we see. This looks a little weird. Got this square down here. Sea Titan's not doing anything in particular. I love the Whalmers down here. That's pretty neat. I'll give this a 7 out of 10. Actually, scratch that. I'll give this a 6 out of 10. Stunfisk. Ooh, okay. So it's got this really hyper realistic feeling to it. One of the first things I noticed is this foot puddle right here. How we had someone who came in, put their foot in the ground, and then the hole, or the footprint, filled up with water because of the moisture. And then you got this puddle forming that reflects the light, and then you see that light everywhere else throughout the picture, and it's just so cool. It's got this really realistic looking mud. This is cool. You got Stunfisk right here doing Stunfisk things. And I love how the artist isn't afraid to obscure Stunfisks themselves to show us, you know, what they do, and how they're not happy that we're here kind of encroaching on their little mud bath. I'll give this a 9 out of 10. This is really cool. Latios. Ooh, okay. So immediately you have this absolutely gorgeous sunset. You got this really cool seaside town. You got the Pokemon Venice right here. And you got this nice rim of light created by the sun. And I love how the light just adds these really nice warm tones to Latios right here. And then the parts that aren't hit have like these cooler colors. This is a really nice picture. I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10. Let me spray. Ooh, okay. So a lot of similar things as to the Latios picture. Got this beautiful sunset. Got nice warm colors with the water, and Meesprit themselves has these really nice harsh shadows. Easy 9 out of 10 based on just aesthetics alone. And I love how the lake spirits always have these like little sparkles. I think that's really cool. It's a nice part of their charm. Fanfy. Ooh, okay. This reminds me how like in nature, elephants will sometimes travel in a line like this with the young in the middle. It's really cool seeing them out in the savannah. The only thing I wish is maybe the with the angle that the sun's at, it would have been really cool to see the shadows be like super long. But aside from that, it's super aesthetically pleasing. Got these nice warm colors. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. It's a really cool picture. It's really cute too. Fanfy just looks awesome. Vibrava. Okay, we got this hyper realistic look. One of the first things I noticed is you got these edges of the wing right here, and how the artist is using shadows to give us that geometric depth. Everything just looks really nice. You got a beautiful background. Okay, so if you look at the leaves, it takes a lot of work to make sure that every single leaf is like shaded and highlighted properly. That takes a lot of work. That's awesome. I'll give this a 9 out of 10. Look at the eye. The eye is just glowing. It's got these really cool details and how it's like reflecting everything. It just looks nice. Okay, we got Clobbopus right here. This is a really cute picture. It's got a lot of charm to it. I love how all the Clobbopuses are like the same size. It kind of gives the vibe that they're the same one doing different things. I love how there's no difference between the foreground, middle ground, and background. The whole thing is just really cute. I'll give this an 8 out of 10. Very nice. Doug Trio. Ooh, okay. Got some nice line art. Got some really cool highlights and solid colors. I love how this cloud back here matches the form of Doug Trio. This is really cool. And they got their fabulous hair as always. I'll give this an 8 out of 10. Very cool. Skarmory. Ooh, okay. Alright, so Skarmory is like out in the wild. In the safari here. They're kind of like interrupting, or maybe they're the star of the show of a safari. Because you got these hooded trucks. And you have like this really beautiful sky. So the really cool thing about this picture is in the fact that the artist is doing hyper realism, is how they're showing how Skarmory would look if they were in real life, because you see the reflection of everything in the body of Skarmory. Like right here on the top of the head where it's like curved a little, you're obviously going to see the sky because the light's coming this way. But with the bottom part of the head that's curved downwards, you're seeing the reflection of the landscape. And even right here, you see the reflection of the truck on the bottom of the body and the glint of the wings with the sunlight. This whole thing just looks so beautiful. And you got these really beautiful brush strokes in the sky. This whole thing just looks gorgeous. I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10. Very cool. Flap. Okay, got some nice watercolors right here in the arm. Some nice cross-hatching to give some shadows and depth. Some beautiful details in the background, or the plants in the foreground and background. This is a very nice picture. I'm going to give this a 8 out of 10. Appleton. Ooh, this is really cute. Tons to look at here in the apple orchard. I love how the details are lost in the background. And then up here, you got these absolutely gorgeous apples. And of course, Appleton being happy about apples. This is so cute. I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10. Some beautiful colors. Okay. So, aside from Slackoth, one of the first things I noticed is just this one flower. I don't know why, but that just adds so much to it. Slackoth doing Slackoth things. Just so peaceful. Give this an 8 out of 10. Very lovely. Kecleon. Ooh, we got some really cool line art here. So one of the things I noticed right away is not just the solid colors on Kecleon here. This is probably one of the clearest pictures of a Pokemon, but I like how the Kecleon's in the background, like semi-transparent. How you can see the different things that they're in front of or hanging on to. That's a really nice detail. I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10. Tons of things to look at. The flowers and the plants look beautiful. Just really cool overall. Bravery. Ooh, okay. Now I love it when the artists like do these really detailed lines on Pokemon, and then they'll mix in like different colors on everything, and just really adds this like strange depth to it, and just looks so cool because it adds to the form of the Pokemon. And I love the lighting back here in the sky. I like how it has just like this really cool arch and spiral to it. And some beautiful tree. What is going on here? I have no idea. It still looks cool nonetheless. I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10. Okay. So the artist is not doing much with what they have, but is still doing a lot, because Durant is an ant and they walk in a line, and that is what they do. 9 out of 10. It's got a lot of charm to it because it's very simple lines, very simple colors. Nothing is like super precise, but that's okay. The whole thing just looks, it's got this really cool aesthetic to it. It looks awesome. Ooh, okay. So we got, similar to the Feebas, it's got this really harsh light coming down. And you have this beautiful greenery, these water plants. And the Milotech themselves just looks absolutely gorgeous. Got some nice highlights and shadows. And I love how the water from, the spray from the water just glistens. And the whole thing that ties us all together is this line right here. Because it's separating Feebas from the water to what they become, Milotech. And it got this awesome background too. This whole thing narratively just awesome. And I love how we have this half view of Milotech in and out of the water. This whole thing just looks beautiful. Give it a 10 out of 10. Very nice. Okay, Pikachu. So one of the first things I noticed right away is how close Pikachu is to the camera. And not only that, they're at this angle right here. And the terrestrialization does a really cool thing where the artist can show off all these different colors. Like right here you got this green, blues, yellows, purples, pinks, oranges. And I love the detail, the fact that the artist really had to consider how would Pikachu look this up close while turning their head. How the feet would look from this angle. And the whole thing just looks really neat. Although Pikachu themselves aren't really doing anything spectacular, the whole thing aesthetically is just really, really nice. I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10. Very cool. Latias. Ooh, okay. So similar to the Latios and the Mesprit, got some beautiful shadows, got some awesome highlights, and absolutely gorgeous background. I love the warm tone of everything. It just looks awesome. The only thing that's throwing me off is I kind of wish that they had like deeper shadows right here, kind of like on the wing, but like over here too, especially on this little fin. aside from that, it just looks awesome. Give this a 9 out of 10. Hydreigon. Ooh, okay. So similar to the Pikachu, where the terrestrialization really gives way to show off all these colors. Like right here, you got these greens, blues, reds, yellows. The whole thing just looks really cool. Now, one thing I appreciate about Hydreigon being the Pokemon shown is Hydreigon is not a bright Pokemon. They're very dark, and not only that, but the background is too. And yet, despite that, the terrestrialization is making it so colorful and vibrant, even with these harsh contrasts. Like right here, in the same frame, you have these darker colors with the black, and then you have like this bright pink and green and blue. This is so cool. Give this a 9 out of 10. Very nice. Okay. This is our Colosseum. There's really not much else to say other than, you know, this background. We got some lightning, some rocks. It's a solid depiction of their Colosseum. Give this a 6 out of 10. Alright, so we got Executor here. I really like how the terrestrialization has got all these really cool colors. There's no real shadows or like highlights to this, but the geometry is kind of curved like that, so it kind of gives this like depth and tubular form to it. This is a pretty cool picture. Oh, this is like the same basketball court as the Executes, and you got the palm trees over here. That's really cool. I'll give this an 8 out of 10. Clement's Wit. Ooh, now this is a cool picture. I love the deep lighting that's coming from this source right here. And I love the nice yellow glow coming from this battery. I like how the background is like really muted colors. I love how everything about this kind of tells us exactly who Clement is. How here they are tinkering with this wrench. How he's a mechanically inclined person because they got all these gadgets and all the different things they're working on in the board back here, and these books, all these wirings and cables. This whole thing just looks really cool, and narratively speaking, it tells us so much about Clement. This is a nice picture. I'm gonna give this a 10 out of 10. Very nice. Drake. I like this style. It's pretty cool. Got some nice solid colors. I like the angle. I like how he's just getting snacks from the machine. This is really neat. The only thing that's throwing me off is like this hand right here. I don't know if it's because the fingers are really long. I think that's just because of the angle, because this is kind of like the center part, so obviously the things closer right here are going to be a little longer than the things further away. The whole style just looks really cool though. I like the soft lighting of everything. Very nice. 8 out of 10. This is cute. So got this nice shop. Got all these treats. Love the bread. I love the details on the counter right here. Got the edges of the shadows. This whole thing just looks really cool, like a snapshot of life. Very nice picture. 9 out of 10. Very beautiful. Licia. Ooh, okay. So Licia is the star of the show. Altaria is always a win. I love the lighting from everything. I like the highlights. I love the shadows in the cloth. I love the hand. The hand just looks really cool. And Licia is giving it her all. I love the sparkle. Got the nice glow from the studio lights. And got these really cool colors over here. The ribbon just looks absolutely real. This is a very nice picture. 9 out of 10. Very nice. Oh, and that is it. That is the ranking of all the illustration rares and the special illustration rares. So right now, I guess I'm going to go back and then I'll look at all the high ranking cards and then I'll rank them from first, second, and third. And so just give me a moment to do that and I will be right back. All right, welcome back everybody. I have painstakingly ranked top 3 cards of the Surging Sparks illustrations, rares, and special illustration rares. It was really hard to do because out of the top cards, it was so hard to distinguish where in the top 3 they are. So honestly, all of these cards are very close to each other in terms of quality and everything I'm looking for in like a really nice card to look at. So why don't we just get right into it and start with third place, which is Skarmory. So honestly, at first when I saw this card, I didn't think too much of it because Skarmory wasn't really doing much of anything other than just like standing there. But the thing that really caught my attention was the fact that we have all these really cool reflections in the body of Skarmory. And it just, the whole thing of it just really brings to life how Skarmory would look in real life. Like, this is how we would see Skarmory if we saw them. And I just think that the whole thing just looks absolutely gorgeous because we got these really deep blues and this really cool landscape that reflects off the body. And that just, honestly, that whole thing just captivates me. And it just looks really nice. So Skarmory gets third place. Very, very nice. Alright, so in second place, we have Castform. So this is quite honestly just a masterclass on how to do line art. And it's just really cool. I love how the artist creates depth with just the solid colors and lines. And I just love all the different details in the background. There's just so much to look at. You can spend so much time just looking at this one card. And you can really appreciate the charm of everything because you got all the different Castforms there. You got this really cool landscape and this awesome stylized drawing. Really cool. I absolutely love it. And it's just really awesome card. And with that, we will go now and consider our first place card. So I will now do a drum roll. And in first place, it was a very hard decision. I couldn't decide for the longest time, but it is Milotic. So everything about this card, narratively, aesthetically, technically, is just absolutely gorgeous. And it all stems from the fact that the artist is using the lighting to their advantage at every single part of this drawing. Down from the lighting of the plants, down into the water, to the highlights and the edges and the colors of Milotic. The whole thing is just absolutely beautiful, and it really sells the story of Milotic and the absolute grandeur and majesty of the Pokemon. And then narratively, it connects back to the Feebas illustration rare, to how Feebas starts out in the murky waters of this lake or river, and then they move on to the next part of their life, which is Milotic, and we have him here bursting out of the water in just absolutely amazing, gorgeous illustration. So Milotic takes my top spot for the Surging Sparks set. Honestly, quite well deserved. It was a tough fight because all of these cards in the, honestly, a lot of the cards in the special illustration rares of Surging Sparks have these wonderful charms and characteristics to them. And they have all this wonderful quality. And it was really tough deciding, the top three, but these are them. If you disagree with me, that's okay. If you do agree with me, tell me why. Why do you appreciate some of these cards? But thank you so much for watching my video of ranking all of the card art for the Surging Sparks set. It was really fun to do. I'm thinking about which set next to do. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Congratulations to Milotic for getting first place.